All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Velvet Voice Walker Stewart, joined by none other than Diamond Jim James Southard. And tonight we have a fantastic matchup. The challenge has been answered here tonight, as Funnybone is going to be taking on none other than ToxicTrent. James, what are your thoughts up as we head into the early stages of this matchup?
I like this. ToxicTrent, he hasn't been going, things haven't been going his way. You could say that. He's been on a bit of a losing streak, but guess what? That doesn't have him down. He said, I'm going to go out here and I'll challenge anybody. Hell, I'll challenge the baddest man in the CWA. I'll call out the demigod of death, Funnybone.
Well, that's definitely a challenger in his own right. Funnybone, one of the greatest professional wrestlers to hit the California Wrestling Association, or truly to hit the state of California in its own right. Now off the ropes, sending him in a shoulder collision of the ages, and neither man goes down here, James. And ToxicTrent, he's calling for it himself. Funnybone now off the ropes. ToxicTrent like a pinball machine. Funnybone is not one to back down from his opponents. Trent once more off the ropes, drop down into the leapfrog. Going for a hip toss here is Funnybone. We are going all around the world tonight, ladies and gentlemen. James, this matchup has been hot and heavy to start it off. But both men, we're completely 50-50 here, if you know what I'm saying.
Without a doubt, but I think that further proves my point. ToxicTrent has what it takes to hang with the big boys here in CWA. He's holding his own against Funnybone. Losing streak or not, ToxicTrent is a man who should be worried. Excuse me, the CWA locker room should be worried about ToxicTrent as he pins Funnybone.
And Funnybone, we find ourselves again at a reset point here.
I sure hope this ain't your A-game, boys. You won't last long.
Funnybone, he's letting Trent hear it, and Trent's been hearing it his entire career, though, James. Trent has been told by every single person from CWA management all the way across the state of California that this kid doesn't have what it takes. And now he's calling out the biggest dog in this fight. He's calling out Funnybone into what is going to be an absolute classic here tonight for the CWA.
But see, when people tell you you don't belong, that does one of two things to you. You either leave and you truly don't belong, or you stand and fight and prove you belong, and that is what ToxicTrent is doing right here against the demigod of death.
Well, he's definitely standing, he's definitely fighting, but he might be picking off a little bit more than he can chew here. He seems completely impenetrable to this pain. Funnybone is asking for more. Good God almighty. That elbow shot directly to the forehead, directly to the skull of ToxicTrent, and the pectoral muscles are also feeling that damage as well here, James Southard.
Funnybone definitely has heavy hands. And ToxicTrent feeling those right now. This crowd is sick cheering for another.
It's not sick, James. It's what the people want, and what the people want is what they get, especially when it comes to Funnybone.
Right, it's not sick, it's unsanitary. You saw him lick his hand before he did that.
Hey, give me a break, James. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take you back to May of earlier this year, 2019, where ToxicTrent suffered his very first singles loss of the year in CWA after losing the CWA Central Valley Championship, losing to a debuting Manny Mars. And now, multiple months later, still on this losing streak, there's definitely a chip on the shoulder of ToxicTrent. Is that fair to say, James?
It's fair to say, but it's a motivator. Some people get a chip on their shoulder and let it weigh them down as Funnybone goes into the pin here. Only a 2 count. Some people let that weigh them down. Some people use it to motivate them. And I think that's what Trent's done, is he's called out the biggest dog in the yard in Funnybone.
The biggest dog in the yard is looking to eat tonight, James. And the big dog never goes home hungry, but ToxicTrent, he's trying to walk out of this contest put together with all of his bones still intact. Funnybone now Irish whip directly out of the corner. And he eats a size 13.5 from ToxicTrent. and a second one. And sooner or later, James, those start to add up. That damage, you start to feel it.
He's scrambling those bones of Funnybone.
But every single thing that ToxicTrent throws at Funnybone, he seems to have an answer for it.
You see Trent, he's still got his hands up. He's still ready to fight. That spirit is still there, even if Funnybone is beating him down. Look at Trent.
Oh, and to the pop-up detonation kick. ToxicTrent, this is your opportunity. Can't give him an inch. He'll take the mile, and only a 2 count there. Says our referee. Sorry, a 1 count there. And see, that's the thing, James. I thought that was going to be a 2 count due to how long this matchup has already been thus far. And Funnybone kicks out at 1. There's a lot more damage. There's going to be a much longer path Trent is going to have to walk if he wants to put Funnybone away.
But it looks like Trent has his eyes on a target. The neck, the spine, the back of Funnybone he was targeting there.
Trent trained by killer Tim Brooks, a man who definitely knew how to target a body part in his own right. That is exactly what Trent plans on doing. That's if he can find himself back to a vertical base. There is no way I could last personally after stomps like that from Funnybone. Everything Funnybone does is with the utmost intensity. It is otherworldly standing across the ring from a man of this caliber.
There's certainly an aura, a change in the feel of the room when Funnybone walks in to have a contest. What is it? He's almost delivering last rites to Trent.
But Trent catches that knee that Funnybone has used to put many men away into the wheelbarrow facebuster and going for the cover. This is your opportunity, kid. And only a 2 count. It's going to take more than that.
Very smart move there, immediately crawling into the cover. You're going to have to be quick against someone like Funnybone. As you said, it's going to take a lot of damage to get him down, and you're going to have to be quick once you get him there.
Fireman's carry positioning here. Trent fights out of it. Answers with one of his own. Anything you can do, I can do better. Into the single knee face breaker. Into a knee strike. ToxicTrent, he is keeping the ball rolling here, ladies and gentlemen. Diving out of the corner, single leg drop kick. All a hip hop Harry going for that cover. And only a 2 count once more.
ToxicTrent was moving like a pinball in there. Now he's got to stay on top of Funnybone if he wants to pick up the win.
Staying on top of Funnybone, that is exactly what he's planning. But going back to that wheelhouse is Funnybone once again. It is ring around the rosy for these two. All around the world we're going. Oh, and that kill shot. That final shot to the back of the neck. That could have been a knockout blow to any lesser opponent here, James. Duck of the clothesline.
Trent's not completely dazed here.
But he may be running completely off of fumes. Right out of that corner into a clothesline again from Funnybone. You see the hook around the neck of Funnybone, maintaining that control. Into a schoolboy though, Funnybone takes it, only a 2 count once more. It is back and forth consistently between these two. And you notice Funnybone, he keeps, no, the snapmare driver.
Spiking Funnybone right on top of his head. I thought that was it, Walker. I honestly thought it was over and shut. I mean, he absolutely rocked Funnybone's skull there.
Absolutely. What an opportunity here tonight for ToxicTrent, calling out the biggest dog in the CWA locker room. I mean, if he can't, he's said it, he's gone on record multiple times. If he can't get the job done tonight against the biggest, the greatest competitor in the CWA locker room on many accounts, then what is there really for him to do here in the CWA?
And that is sometimes all the motivation you need, but motivation won't pick you up off the mat after something like that. And what's Funnybone got in mind now, twisting the legs up?
He's going for a sharpshooter here, it looks. No, transitioning out of it. Trying to see from a greater vantage point into a massive curb stomp out of the surfboard stretch. Again, that might be one of those game-changing moments here. Only a 2 count, though, and I think that my premonitions of Toxic Trent running completely off of whatever nuclear energy that he runs off of, it's happening right now. We're seeing it live and in living color.
But Toxic Trent, even on fumes, is still able to hang with Funnybone. They're going back and forth. It's certainly not a one-sided contest. Even if Toxic Trent is running on his last breath now, he's still holding his own with Funnybone.
Seeing the frustration begin to build in Toxic Trent. I mean, we've seen the frustration throughout the past year here in CWA after losing the CWA Central Valley Championship, losing to Manny Mars in his debut matchup. Toxic Trent, he is fiending for a victory here. His sanity, his ego, whatever you want to call it, it needs some healing. Catching the boot, though, is Funnybone into a back elbow. Rolling elbow into these repeated knee strikes. The striking ability of Funnybone is off the charts, James.
A standing, shining wizard there to cap it all off.
Ducking under.
Spear!
Into the spear! Toxic Trent has put many men away with that one. This is it, James. No!
Only 2 there.
It takes a certain type of otherworldly specimen to kick out of maneuver so devastating as the spear. And it seems like Funnybone happens to be that individual. What a sick freak.
Without a doubt, perhaps the demigod of death, the only man that could kick out of that spear.
I think you hit the nail on the head there. This isn't a man, that is a demigod, James. Off the ropes goes Funnybone into a second spear. That one has to end this match. That's gotta be it.
2.
And once again, in Toxic Trent, he is repeatedly going back to that pinning attempt. He can't believe that the second spear wasn't enough to end this matchup.
He is trying to secure that win. Look and focus on Toxic Trent. Just zoning in on Funnybone.
You know, James, I've seen it before. This look in Trent's eye. He's going to that place. Don't turn around, Funnybone. You're not going to like what you see. Wait a minute. Well, a role reversal there within what I'm saying. Funnybone delivering a second knee strike. Dead to rights, going for the cover, hook into the outer leg. And somehow, still, Toxic Trent is in this matchup. And for everything that Toxic Trent has said in the build to this open challenge, if you will, you know, he's made it very clear. He is frustrated. He knows he is a more than capable competitor. He believes by this point that he should have his fingers, his grasp on the Central Valley Championship once again. But James, I got to give the man credit where it's due. He's putting a fight to Funnybone. There are a lot of lesser men who do not have the abilities that Toxic Trent has.
And that's the thing we forget. We talk about Toxic Trent's losing streak here as these two just go to battle. But Toxic Trent's losing streak, it isn't like he's going up against subpar talent. He's going up against the best CWA has to offer. He shouldn't be ashamed that he's getting this close to some of these competitors. As I said, he's holding his own here with Funnybone, and what a phenomenal showing.
Phenomenal showing indeed. Trent off the ropes. He has an idea, and that idea will not come to fruition tonight at the hands of a size 13 from Funnybone. Funnybone now setting up for something here, calling his shots. And a headbutt. California kiss. And a second one for good measure.
And then watch how Toxic Trent's head bounced off the mat after that headbutt. He's got to be reeling, but he's got to figure out where he is quick.
There is nothing funny about what we're about to see, James. Toxic Trent, though, trying to put an end to that one before it could even get started.
Smart strategy there, preventing Funnybone from hitting any high-impact offense off the top.
Yeah, any maneuver off the top could be a career ender. Not only that, but a match ender as well. And Toxic Trent, he's hung over that top rope, and a double foot stomp right to the back of Trent. And then I hate to say it, but this one might be over. Funnybone, I think he has one last final blow to deal out.
Come on, Trent, move.
Funnybone, he's heading to the top. This might be it. Into the diving double foot stomp, crushing the ribs, and that's it. And James, what a matchup between Funnybone and Toxic Trent.